I have here today a bowl of blueberries. They are absolutely fantastic. Why am I talking about blueberries? Today we're going to be painting blueberries, but first I want to tell you a little story, and this is what you might call a teaching moment. When I was in university, rumor went around that a friend of some of the guys who had apartments in the same building I lived in, I'll call him Joe, was a really good kisser. And so I got to know him a little bit. We were like a group of friends, neighbors on the same floor kind of thing. But one day he came over to my apartment and knocked on the door. He probably wanted to borrow an egg because we always had lots of eggs from the farm. Anyway, I screwed up my courage because I had to find out if it was true. And I asked him if he would kiss me. And oh my goodness, the rumors were true. Joe was a really good kisser. So what does this have to do with art? Art, like kissing, is a skill. To be good at it, you have to develop skills. And it's all about technique. So today in this video, we're going to talk about technique as I paint some blueberries, because there are special techniques you need to know to paint spherical things. So let's have fun with it. And while we're painting, you can think about your favorite kisser, I guess. And comment below and tell me your favorite kissing story. So the reason I chose blueberries was because I was going through my art drawers and I came across this set that I used quite a while ago to create products for when I had a store previously. And I wanted to show it to you for a couple of reasons. One is because this is what I created with this art, among other things, because they're designs that go on everything. And this is a thank you note. These are now for sale in my shop. I want to show you just another one as well. This one, Thinking of You, which will also be for sale. This is the one I'm painting today. It's already painted, but I thought I'd show you this as kind of a preview. So what I did was I traced it onto a new sheet of watercolor paper so that I could demonstrate how I went about it and how you get these kind of gradations of colors, which is how blueberries grow. They start out almost white and then they go kind of pink, and then the pink turns to blue, like sort of a gray blue, and then a dark blue. And I used this Sharpie pen to trace it. I did test it on this piece of paper right there, and I put water on it and it does not move. Okay. I'm also using this Canson watercolor cold pressed 140 pound paper, also known as 300 GSM. Okay, so it's heavy, but it's not really bumpy. Like some papers, you can see the grain in the paper. I didn't really want that to show on this one because it makes it a little bit harder sometimes. Or it just gives you a different look. So this is the one I'm using, and I'm going to start like this. Now you can see how many colors I have going on over here. So what happens when I start a new painting, especially if it's a bigger painting, what do I do with all this mess? First of all, it's not a mess. It's paint that can easily be reconstituted, okay? And it's still paint. So because it's watercolor, it dries and it's still paint. And I'll show you exactly what I mean. Let's get some water in my brush. Mix it up here. And voila, I have paint again. So I don't want to waste that. I want to keep it. I generally don't want my hand on the paper because your hand leaves oils. So this is just a piece of sketching paper. Just going to put that there. Okay. So let's start with the pinks, since I've already got pink. Now I want quite a pale pink, because this is like a baby blueberry. It's just beginning to turn blue. So what I can do is just dab in some pink like that, soak it off my brush with this. I'll put that up here now that I have room to do that. And then I want to add blue, and I like this cerulean blue. I don't want much water in my brush because there's already a little too much water here. So I'm going to just paint the bottom half of this blueberry like this and let the colors run together. Now, if I want to make them run together even better, I've taken the moisture out of my brush, even with my fingers to make sure, and I'm going to just kind of soak up some of that paint. and move it around a little bit. Because these little new blueberries are really quite pale. So see how I've just taken some of the pigment out of there? I'm going to leave it just like that. I'm not going to touch it. And for the next one, I'm going to do the same thing. And then some blue. Now blueberries pink on the top and blue on the bottom. I think I did this one wrong. I think it's blue on top. So here's how to fix that. It's still wet. Just take a little tissue like this, which comes on a roll and is generally used in the bathroom. And here we have a case of the blue has run down into the pink, a little bit more than I want. I'm just going to push it back up there, put a little bit more pink in. Just drop it in with the tip of my brush and then leave it alone. Now with the top one, when you make a mistake with watercolor, it's not generally the end of the story because it depends on the paint. Some are stains and some are pigments, and the pigments can be picked up. So pigment is like grainy stuff. It's too small a grains for you to actually see. But look, I've pretty much cleaned it up. And I'm going to do that again. So now I can go back and go pink on the bottom. Now because this paper is wet and it was wetter, it's going to behave a little bit differently than when it's fresh. It'll be more absorbent and probably a little bit more, well, a little less smooth. Okay, so there I have my berry, and I made it blue at the top and pink at the bottom. This one I'm going to make a little bit more blue, and it's still wet, so I can put some of that in. But you know what happens? If it runs up against the dry edge, it's going to make watermarks. So I'm going to make sure it doesn't have a dry edge just by touching all of this paint, making sure it's still a little bit damp, moving it around, and then it should be fine. On my example, I originally painted this one a little bit more of a mix. So obviously when you mix pink and blue, I'll show you what happens. Pink, blue, what do you get? I knew you'd know that. So that's what I'm going to paint. This blueberry here on the side. Sort of a pink-blue mix. I don't want it to be really purple or, you know, outstandingly strong colored, but that's a little bit too wimpy. So I'm going to pick up some more of this cerulean blue, a little bit stronger. See if I can get a little bit stronger color here. There's a lot of water in it, so. And then I can just kind of dab it in there. And I'm not painting the little tufts on the end because they are what's left from our blossoms. Now I drove past a blueberry field the other day because we have a lot of them in the valley here. And the fields look great because they're groomed and they're ready to burst into life kind of thing, but they're not blossoming yet. So now I want a blue color that's blueberry blue. Okay, so let's see how this compares. Well, they're not really that color, are they? They're a deeper blue. See? So how can I make it a deeper blue? Well, there's a couple of different ways you can make a color deeper. One is to add something like that, but that's not really what I want. Here's my good blue. Notice how I'm mixing colors on the paper. This is permanent violet. Does that look more like a blueberry blue? Not quite so much, but you know what? If I add a little bit of Van Dyke brown, that's going to make my blue become more navy. See what a difference it makes? Now I can decide how much blue I want in and how much I don't. But what I can do and what I generally do is I look at my palette and see what have I got over here that I can reuse. Well, or do I have a space? It's pretty crowded and it's pretty messy, so I'm going to just clean some of it up. And the way I do that is just just make stuff wet. Might as well get rid of that orange. And then just mop it all up. So I can start here and make my blueberry color over here and mix it till I get the right tone. And then I can start on these berries. And there's our nice blueberry blue. A little bit too juicy there. So now all I have to do is paint the blueberries. But if I want to have more color, say on the back here, I can just dab that in there like that. So I'm going to do a couple of them, and then I want to show you something. I'm just going to go straight across here and paint this one at the same time, because they're going to want to run together anyway if I don't let them dry in between. So wherever you lift your brush, that's where the intensity lands. And if it's too wet, because it takes longer to dry, it's going to backwash into the stuff that's drying. Now those are going to have to dry, and if I start painting leaves, I'm going to get kind of a mess, because they will invariably end up touching. So I'm going to dry this stuff. I just dried it with my dryer. All right, I'm going to paint leaves now, and I want to have one of these shiitake greens, because the one I have in this other palette I don't like very much. This is sap green, which is a little bit on the yellow side, a little bit duller. Most leaves aren't that bright. I'm going to use this sap green from shiitake and mix some greens here. And I've got this yellow green here, which I really like. I haven't been close to a blueberry plant for a while, even though there's one in my yard, but I'm going to have to imagine the blueberry leaf color, because there's nothing to look at right now. It's too early in the season. But I'm going to assume that these leaves at the top are the baby leaves. So they're the newest ones, and they're usually going to be the palest green, especially towards the tip. So I'm going to push the moisture back here like this. Then I'm going to put in some of this darker green and just kind of let it blend. It is fairly tricky how much water you have on all parts of it. So I'm going to do the same with this leaf here. This is deep sap green, a deeper color. Okay, let's see. Yeah, that's what I want. All right. This is the color for these leaves. Because a lot of greens have a lot of blue in them, and I don't want a blue-green leaf. And then I'm going to take it back. I'm going to paint it back. See how it's watermarking there already? I don't want that. Add more dark color here. Suck it out of my brush and just kind of let it be from now on. Okay, I'm going to do the same with all of them. All right, now for the other leaves, I'm going to start with this pale green again, because I really like it. And then I'll go into more bright green. Now we only have the little flowers on the end, and I definitely need a smaller brush for that. So I'm using this one, which is a size 2, and the color of these things is I think yellow ochre. So I'm going to get lots on my brush, but not lots of water. And pretty much the berries themselves are dry. And now we've got that same color, this same color for the branches. Just keep painting and you'll figure it out. I had a little technical glitch. I don't know where that happened, but if you want to know what happened with me and the good kisser, the answer is nothing. However, one of the other guys who were friends of our neighbors, I ended up marrying, and in this month, April, it's our 50th anniversary. So you just never know. Things might work out in ways that surprise you, like the paint on these leaves. Now, if you want the traceable for this, just send me an email. You can find it in my information on my channel here. Better yet, just go over to my website at wendydewarhughes.com and get on my email list there, and just send me an email from there, and I'll just send it to you for free and you can copy it. That's all for today. Please subscribe, give me a like, and I'll see you next time.